Hey, everybody, it's another edition of Stock Guys Talking Stocks. That's what we do. We talk stocks, we chart stocks, we bullshit around, talk the Mets, the Yankees, anything at all. Anything goes on this channel. But most of all, Professor Omar is smiling. That means his short is working. And I had the single worst day of the year, but, I'm confident it'll be better the rest of the week. So let's see what my charts show. Let's see what Professor Omar's charts show, and Kamal's got a long position on Bitcoin working, right, Kamal?
Long? I don't know about long, but yeah, I bought a lot of Bitcoin today. A
You're
lot.
swinging it, whatever. I mean, I don't mean long term. I mean,
Right.
Impatient, Kemal.
I mean long as opposed to short. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you never go short. So you're the antithesis of Professor Omar. Kamal has never gone short in his life.
That's good.
Not really. No.
All right, so let's take a look at the charts. What have I here?
Well, you said, we're going to start with the spiders, I guess.
I guess why not?
Yeah, I mean, did the spiders take it on the chin as much as the NASDAQ did?
No, a lot less.
It's down a point.
Yeah.
Down nothing,
It's
Basically.
nothing.
It's still in the range.
Yeah, so I have an optimistic point of view here, as you can see from my chart. I have a parallel channel to the big move we made from October 22 on up. I have a new channel that looks just as strong, and the way I see it, as long as we stay above the lower trend line in this channel, we're okay. We're moving on up. It's a bull market. I'm not worried. Well, a little worried. I do think we might fill this gap, however. So if we fill the gap, it'll come down to about 536, 536.
Yeah, that was my first target.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that's entirely possible. A little 3 to 5% correction. I said that's likely. It's kind of like a dance step. We go up 2 and back 1, up 2 and back 1.
The rumba.
The rumba, or the screwba.
Screwba.
The screwba.
Is that a dance from the 20s, Dr. J?
Yes, it's a dance from the 1929, I think. That's where it's a dance from, and the 30s, 1930s.
Oh,
The 30s were terrible after the great decade of the 20s.
yeah. No innovations in dance during the 30s.
Well, something it might be the same here in this century.
Yeah.
20s will be really fantastic, and the 30s suck. I wouldn't be shocked. All right, anyway, so what else did I want to look at? I'm bullish. The SPYs, I think short-term pullback to the gap fill is possible, if not even likely, probably likely. Bitcoin. The thing is, everybody sees that gap fill. Everybody's playing it. So that alone makes it less likely. Whether it happens or not, I don't know.
If it only takes half that gap, then you'll still be within your range.
I'm still bullish, and no matter what, if it fills the gap, I'm more but bullish.
Dr. J, some credit is due here.
Well, I think August. That's my target.
No, some credit is due here.
All right. Now in Bitcoin,
Some credit is
Some credit is due here, Jerry.
on Bitcoin, I think we put in a bottom today, but it could go down and test the 200. Test the 200, 57,555 or wherever it is. So that's possible. But I think Bitcoin has gone down enough. It's still within its channel that I drew. So bullish Bitcoin, time to buy. I mean, think of how much money you would have made if you just went long, short on Bitcoin during this period.
Hmm.
Bitcoin has been very contained for considering Bitcoin. Bitcoin is usually wilder than this. From 59 to 73 is a small range for Bitcoin. Okay, let's take a look at MicroStrategy. Should have a similar target just below where we are now at the worst, I believe. Yep, I think so. The 100, the 100 is right below where Bitcoin closed today. Having trouble grabbing this. There we go. Right below. So I like Bitcoin. I like MicroStrategy. Maybe it goes down a little bit more. Same with the S&P. I think there's a little bit more room to go down on the S&P and Bitcoin and MicroStrategy.
Do you see that gap there? Do you think it's going to
Including
close?
this gap fill, right, Kamal? It's gap fill. That's possible, 1258.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to fill that gap. It could stop at the 100 at 1291.
It's around there.
Yeah. Or it could just say, I had enough going down today. I'm going back up. You look at the bottom shadow. It's bigger than the top shadow.
Do you want to look at the Qs just for a sec?
Look at the candle today that it put in. It's not that terrible a candle. It was much lower, don't forget, during the day.
It recovered
almost,
recovered.
yeah, it almost hit the 100.
I still feel.
I wouldn't be
hours
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little move down in the morning, followed by a big move up, and you see a nice green candle tomorrow for both Bitcoin and the S&P. By the way, my two indicators for the S&P are mixed. TLT is going up, meaning the rates are coming down, but Bitcoin is moving the wrong way for my S&P call. Remember my S&P call of 600? I said it wasn't an if and only if, but it was a sufficient condition that Bitcoin move up and TLT move up.
Right.
That was sufficient for the S&P to rally.
So they didn't you didn't meet the conditions. So
Not yet,
So at this point, everything God is still in his heaven.
but it's half met. TLT did rally.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm glad I bought some today.
Well, when I first said this, TLT was 90. Now it's 94, I believe.
Okay.
So it's moving on up. The rates are coming down long term. I think we're in that trend will continue. NVIDIA, they got to look at it because it's the reason we're meeting today. We're grieving over three days of
Wow, look at that.
I see it, but I said screw it. I'm buying more at the close, which I did. I didn't buy a lot more, but I bought back what I remember. I got rid of some. We got 1,000. I was upset. I got rid of some.
Mm-hmm.
I bought most of that back. If it drops down to fill this gap, I'll buy more. This gap is at 101. What is it? 106, something like that.
What about
No.
the gap before it?
This gap.
Yeah.
That 94.
Right.
94 and change. Yeah. 94.83. That's one gap. And if this is another stopping point, 101. So I think it'll find support at 101, if not 94.80 something. But I'm thinking it doesn't have to. It could just say I'm done going down. There's enough pent up demand to buy more. For those who are on the sideline, those who missed it, they're coming in.
Right.
So there's going to be an equilibrium on it.
The FOMO crowd.
I think there will be an equilibrium trade tomorrow on NVIDIA. So you might see some wild swings tomorrow.
But the way it's getting down, Jay, is worrisome.
It's very ominous looking, but I've seen this happen before.
Maybe 50 days.
Yeah, well, look at the one at the end of February. That was just before the other earnings.
Yeah, the one in April also, right here.
Yeah.
It was like that.
NVIDIA's done this kind of thing before. It's gone down.
Not like that. Not
Yeah,
like that.
no,
Not two gaps in a row. I
Not,
don't think I don't follow it very closely, but I don't remember
how
something
about
like
you
that.
look at what Professor Spike said, February 16th.
Yeah, this was when they had the first set of earnings and people were worried about it.
But
Yeah,
you didn't get a reversal like that. You see that engulfing candle followed by two gaps to the downside.
Yeah.
Usually, really, you have really to be very careful with that.
I'm going on record. Here's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
We're going to go down at the open and we're going to finish green. I'm going on record.
For the day or for the scalp is fine, but for the little longer term, I think 50-day moving average is probably the
For the
minimum.
longer term, it's going to 2000 eventually. I mean, the old 2000, so that would be 200.
200, right?
Yeah. Mankind, I'm actually making money on. I bought it at about 4. Where did I buy it? Right around here. 4, no, lower. I did really well. I came in at almost the bottom on Bitcoin, relative bottom. It came in the low 4s, around 430 maybe. So I'm doing well on Bitcoin. I can't complain. I think the chart looks really good. I think we'll continue going up. There was good news on Afrezza. That's their main insulin. It's their main product. Their insulin product. Their first product approved. Their first drug approved. It's mealtime insulin. That it's inhalable through the gizmo that they have. And their other drug is the partnership with UTHR is Tyvaso. It's something like that. I always say it wrong and I always get corrected.
Is that
But
for
Afrezza had good news today in a phase 4 trial. That's why it popped. You heard me right, a phase 4 trial. That's sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering about that.
Sometimes companies, do clinical trials, even though they're approved, to prove a concept or whatever.
Right, and there's also alternative uses they have to cover for some time.
Yeah, so they're doing well. I think that mankind has a good future. Maybe in a year you might see this in double digits. So
Could you go over IBET when you get a chance?
Yeah, I will. I just have one. All right, that's my list. What did you want me to look at?
IBET.
IBIT. That's like MicroStrategy.
It's worse today.
It's down 7%. I don't know whether it was worse. I see. Well, it's like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I think 32 will hold. I mean, I'll probably be adding to my IBIT. If it drops a little more, I'm adding. So
I added a lot today, a lot.
yeah, look, I think you got it with Bitcoin. You got to be a hodler. I said the other day, it's very hard to call day by day the movements of Bitcoin. Extremely difficult. It acts very erratically. Just when you think the chart says down, it goes up, and conversely. I've had poor success day by day, so I just hold it. I keep adding to my Bitcoin positions usually. Okay, so
Professor Omar, you want to show us what you got? Yes.
I know
I know
it's a lot different than what I have. So
certainly. Okay. I'm gonna do it in a very. I'm not gonna do it as
show us
eloquently, right? Eloquently as you do it.
Hit present.
Yeah, but I'm gonna try.
And share screen.
Et voila. Et voila.
Yeah, you got it.
This is the SPX, right? Okay, we can go just SPY. It's a little different, but it's not very, very different. You see, this is the chart we had last time. We just hit that trend line on here, right? If you remember, we had the divergence, hourly chart divergence, and it's starting to work very well. We shorted around here. and it's going down. I think it's gonna go down here, which is around 536, 37
Was
at
today
least.
was today an engulfing?
Today, yes, but it's actually bearish. Yeah, definitely bearish day today, because we started, then we went up, and then we reversed down to engulf yesterday. So it's very bearish. So tomorrow we'll say, I mean, if tomorrow, for instance, we're gonna get a red candle closing near the low, then you have to be really very careful. You have to wait until you get a reversal on the hourly chart to go long, in my opinion. This could really go, more down than when than you think.
You have this as a rising wedge.
Yeah, this one here.
It's
Um,
funny how you drew it that way, and I drew it as
yeah,
a rising channel.
as a channel. This is what this is what you did in your case, right? Yeah, you can see it that way. Absolutely, it's not very different. But anyways, so the first target is going to be very likely around here, right? So around here, right? That's 537, 36. And then we may, in that case, we may go back and make a new high. Okay, we may go back here, so 552, and then reverse again. In that case, we're going to go to the 200 moving average.
So you're still calling for the big.
Oh, that definitely. I mean, there's one in my case. I mean, what I think either we're gonna have something like this. We're gonna get to 5600, which is 5 6. What is that? 560,
Yeah,
right?
that's the number I've been using.
Yes. Either we get to 560. That's going to be the top of this whole bull market here, and then we're gonna get down. Or, as I said, we're gonna get a 10% down, so around the 200 moving average. Then we may go to 600, and then before we see the top.
But
So
you see this
tomorrow,
happening very soon, right?
um,
You see this happening very soon.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, tomorrow is gonna tell a lot. Tomorrow will be very, in my opinion, tomorrow is going to be a really decisive day. I don't know why. I don't know what is going. I mean, if there is any data tomorrow that's very important or not, whatever. But from this, this pattern here, if we get tomorrow, usually that's what tops. They may start like this, right? They go slowly. You don't even feel it, and then they accelerate. So you're gonna get a very big candle down. If we get something like that, then you have to, expect a serious decline, probably at least 5% minimum. But we're gonna make a new high. That's what I think as well. Definitely, we're gonna make a new high. Same thing for Bitcoin here, right? BTC, and if you remember, again, I'm gonna take credit here again,
Yeah.
right? So this is where we said it's gonna go down to the 200 moving average, and we are right there. Now there are two cases. In my opinion, it will be extremely prudent not to buy now and to wait a little bit. So you're gonna wait for tomorrow and see how it's going to act when it reaches 200 moving average. Usually you're gonna see something like this if it's bullish, right? You're gonna see something. There you go. You're gonna see something like this. So it touches 200 moving average, then you bounce back. Then you're gonna see a run up, or or you're gonna see something like this. You're gonna cut through the 200 moving average, then you don't know exactly where it's going, where the trend is going to resume. I think tomorrow is going to be very important for the whole stock market.
That I
Uh,
agree.
and one last thing is, if you go to the cues, if you look at the cues, it's a little bit the same thing. I have a channel here. That's how I draw in general channels myself. So I have a pivot here, right? Um, then another one here, right? You draw a line here, then you just put the parallel one to the next pivot here, and we get right to the we get almost right to the top of that channel, and then we start to go down. And if you look the way we are going down, it's well, it in my opinion, it tells that probably we're gonna get a little bit, at least probably to this gap here. What is that? 18,500 probably, 19,000, some 18,500, yeah, something like that.
Doom and gloom.
Well,
Huh?
it's also very, very dependent on what NVIDIA does, because I'm sure
Yeah.
that a lot of that is NVIDIA.
But if you look at NVIDIA again, as I said, NVIDIA is almost the same chart as
Yeah.
NDX, exactly the same. So you get the reversal,
Right.
then a gap, and then another gap. NVIDIA is even more.
Is that an engulfing from Friday?
Yeah, engulfing, but this one is an inside bar, so you don't really count it as an engulfing. It's not as strong as if if it engulfed the big green candle, it would have been very serious. But the little star there, it's almost meaningless because it's an inside bar.
All right.
But if you look at Nvidia, however, I think it is an engulfing,
Yeah, it is.
right? It's a
Yeah,
serious
look at that.
engulfing. Yeah, this is really this is serious. I mean, it opened up and then closed completely down. This just, in my opinion, I think we're gonna get to the 50-day moving average.
A 101.
That's a 101. Yeah,
Yeah.
a 101. There will be a lot of buying, definitely.
Including me.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all I got.
You want to do me a favor and look at Ethereum?
Of course, Ethereum.
Well, yeah, I was using ETHE as my surrogate.
Yeah, I have ETHUSD here.
Okay, there we
It's
go.
pretty much the same as the as Bitcoin. We are
Sure.
very close to, but I think this one is even better than Bitcoin, in my opinion.
It shows consolidation with a full flag.
Yeah, this is what you're talking about, right?
Ethereum.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, you're right.
something like this. But I think, yeah, 200 moving average will be a good entry point there.
I would agree. I mean, I got in a little bit just
Yeah.
because I thought it might. I thought it was a bargain, but you're right.
I
It might be
think,
more bargains than that,
I think you can nibble even here.
right?
Yeah. At least if we go below this, at least you know where to get out. So
Right.
it's yeah, definitely.
That's true.
And this tells me that the market probably is going to sell a little bit more before we reverse.
Yeah, it does look. It does look like a very steady, strong trend in that direction.
I agree with Mega How To Man. NVIDIA is at the pre-split price. 120 was pre-split. And Mag 7 look good for long term, and so does NVIDIA. I agree. Who's the they that wants everyone out of tech stocks? I don't know who the they are.
Yeah, today I don't know why the
Well, I mean,
Nasdaq
again,
actually lost a
if you
lot.
look at IWM, you could see that that one's not. That one's staying somewhat steady.
It was up today.
Yeah, it's effective.
little bit, yeah. But if you look, you see the thing that I drew last time. Actually, I
Well,
didn't check
the
this
money
one.
that's coming out of NVIDIA and tech and the stocks is going into the IWM and the Dow. Dow is up sharply
Yeah,
today.
that was up a lot, right?
Both of them. The RUT was up, Dow was up. Chart looks very good on the RUT. Looks like two different markets between the RUT and the Qs.
Yeah, it's a bounce. Yeah.
I think, like I said this before, the bull market will not end until the small caps rally big.
Yeah, they got to get that taste.
I think so. I think anything we get now is just a correction, even if it is 10%.
So you mean it's gonna be like some sort of a fake rally, or?
No, I think it'll be a real rally to small
Mm.
caps as the S&P broadens out as well. I think S&P 610 is in the bag.
But that usually, Jerry, happens when you have a bottom, when you have a big decline, and then the small caps rally first before the
Well, no, the
large caps will grow.
small caps can play catch up also.
Mm.
Well, I guess it depends on the overall enthusiasm about the market,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think is still pretty high. People are still thinking that's the only game in town.
I think in this case, the small caps play catch up. You may not get much more juice out of the S&P, but you get some, maybe the 610. And on the rut, I think you do much better. I think you get a big rally. Well over on the IWM, probably over 250.
IWM over 250.
Yeah.
That's it's right now. What is it now? It's 200 now. You're right. Okay.
So I see a 20% rally. It's 25% rally.
Wow.
Whereas on the S&P is SPY is what, about 550. I see that going to 600, so that's a 10% rally. I think you get 25% rut and 10% on SPY before it's all over, and then duck.
Then get out of Dodge.
Then you got to get out of Dodge. After that, after the blow off top, then you get out of Dodge. Look, this has been a bull market going on for as long as I can remember since the early 80s.
No, just 2012.
I mean, I remember it bottoming out like was it the 400s, 500s, wherever it was, in the early 80s, and there was Crazy Joe was calling for it to go to 200 or 100. Crazy Joe Gallo made some big calls back in the 80s, had a call for like Dow 100.
I didn't know Crazy Joe Gallo played the market.
Different Joe Gallo.
Okay. Well, then why does he have the same nickname, Crazy?
I guess I don't know, because maybe he was the original. Maybe I got the name wrong. He was, you got me concerned now. Now the memory is faulty. No, it was Joe Gallo, I think. I think he was the guru, the stock market guru.
I didn't have any money at that time.
You got me worried about my memory now. Gallo stocks.
So what are we looking at now? Oh, SMCI, very good.
SMCI, I bought some more today.
What are you thinking, Professor Omar?
It's
got
I don't know.
that same thing right at the top. It's got that
The momentum
at
is
the top.
No, I got it. Professor
Luckily, it's
Yeah.
really fading a little bit.
This is him. Crazy Joe Gallo stock photo. Whoops.
Maybe we're gonna get a little bit, this thing, this channel.
Yeah, no, that's the band I have. I have that band going for a while.
And when you get something like this, means that it's just shooting for the 200 moving.
I'm not sure. I found a Joe Gallo that's current, that's still alive. That's different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got the name wrong. I'll have to do my research and correct it if I did get it wrong. But I could have sworn that was his name. It's upsetting me.
This was the early 80s.
Yeah, the early 80s was like the bottom that I recall. And we've been essentially in a bear market ever since, like 82, roughly. I remember I just bought a house in 1980, and I was out talking to a neighbor about the market, and I thought it was Gallo's call, but Maybe somebody else.
You were paying 20% interest rate.
I was paying 18%.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
sure.
I refinanced about 5 times on the way down.
Yeah.
5 times?
Maybe not 5, maybe 3.
I don't blame you.
You know, I wound up paying, like nothing, very little. But I started at 18%. Citibank was the only game in town. So,
It was First National Citibank.
was it?
Well, maybe not. Maybe that was even earlier
I don't remember.
before it merged with Bankers Trust.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? You
Dr. J, I wanna ask
think
you a
we might
question.
see that area? You think we might see that area in SMCI?
If I see this one, I will load big time. But it could be, yeah, or at least one can start having something here. This is a very good chart long term, definitely.
Right.
So yeah,
Maybe enter there and then
yeah, and then you
double
just
down,
double.
and then once it leaves, if it ever leaves the other band, then bail.
Absolutely.
I see. Makes sense.
I can't find it. I'm very upset I got the name.
Well, we can discuss it on Thursday.
I got the name wrong. I can't believe I got the name wrong. All right.
Well, the other Joe Gallo was long gone by 1982, wasn't he?
I don't remember exactly the sequence of events. I know he was he the one that was killed in Little Italy?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. So K Indonesia.
Oh yeah, somebody. It wasn't Gallo. Thank you, K Indonesia. Thank you. You saved my sanity. You saved my sanity. My memory is not what it used to be. But I had everything else right. Like I think we had a market and all of that.
Sure.
Oh well. But the fact that it was Crazy Joe and another Crazy Joe got me mixed up.
You had Apple on your list also. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, because I wanted to show the contrast. Something was up. Tesla and Apple were up in the Max 7s. IBM was up. There was Max 7 stocks that were up today.
Yeah, no, IBM went up almost 2%.
Tesla is down.
Tesla was up today.
Was.
Oh, it was?
Tesla was marginally down.
Uh-huh.
A little bit down.
Apple closed up, right?
Apple a little bit up.
Yeah.
You see it here.
I think we bottomed out on Apple at where 208, whatever it was.
I disagree. I think Apple is still overpriced.
Well, they just had some bad news in Europe again.
It doesn't matter whether
getting
the company is overpriced or not. It matters what people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I'm glad K Indonesia saved my sanity. I'm telling you.
Tesla is not going anywhere.
I'm upset from all today's losses. I had incurred the biggest losses of the year today. So
what is the biggest loss? Which one?
The Bitcoin, IBIT, MicroStrategy, and also NVIDIA and SMCI, all of them. I got pounded.
I bought pre-market. I thought I did well, but then
if it makes you feel any better, DermTech didn't do too well either.
Yeah, DermTech was finished.
Yeah, I think so.
mstr is right at the gap. You see it last time. That's what we draw actually here. And it's together with 100 moving average. I think it's a very good point where one can nibble here.
I think so too. I think Bitcoin has very little room on the downside. I'm pretty sure that we're near bottom. I mean,
Possible.
it could retest 56,555 or wherever it was, the low, the recent pivot. It could revisit. It's possible. It's not that far away. But anything lower than where it is now is a gift on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will still end the year close to 100,000. That is
100,000, right?
All right, so we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry about that, Joe Gallo.
That's okay.
I meant
You got the G right.
obviously meant Joe Granville. But they called his nickname was also Crazy Joe, so
Oh, okay.
it's an actual mistake. He actually predicted. He was so crazy. He predicted earthquakes as well as stock market.
Was he ever right?
He used the same quantitative stuff analysis that he for the market as he did for earthquakes. Yeah, he had a couple of good calls on some of the earthquakes. That's why they called him Crazy Joe Granville.
Right.
All right. Anyway, he was a colorful character. I think we only lost him maybe 10 years ago. Adios, amigos. Ciao. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, all.
Better trading, better day tomorrow.
Yes. Fingers crossed.